The Miami Dolphins did it, in my opinion. They hit a home run at 13. Don't let the mock draft simulators or all that fool you. I kept telling you, the NFL was higher on Kenneth Grant than the media was. And what did Grier say? 3 GMs who had picks after us said he was their guy and they were going to take him. The Dolphins got a great one. Kenneth Grant, first round, pick 13 of the 2025 NFL draft. He's now a Miami Dolphin. Let's talk about it.
Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it!
You have got to be kidding me.
Jalen Waddle has a Dolphin touchdown. And he will score!
Field down the near side, man open, touchdown!
The run from Tua Tagovailoa.
Touchdown!
He's going deep! He's got it for the touchdown again!
Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan.
Let's go!
What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We're back here for another one. Shout out to each and every one of you as you come through. Please smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. As we climb towards 20K, where I want to do a 5-person giveaway. Listen, we're going to talk about Kenneth Grant in the draft. Before we do, because I know some may have not caught the live stream and may not have been aware. Armando Salguero, former, reporter and guy who covered the Miami Dolphins, who now works for OnKick or whatever that site is. He reported today that there was Ramsey and McDaniel, like there was Ramsey was asked to take a pay cut, blah, blah, blah. He had to backtrack that. And then he came out and said, no, there is legitimate tension between Ramsey and, of course, Mike McDaniel. And Patreon's channel members, I had that report 10 days ago for you on the Patreon. And as a community post for channel members only, I said he wasn't a fan of his coaching style, his demeanor, and the culture that was being built. And Armando Salguero said the relationship is irreparable. It's over. So if you missed that, I just want to catch up. There's the crib notes for you of what went down prior to the draft, because it's going to get lost and everything. But enough about that negativity. Today is a positive day. The Miami Dolphins, they went ahead and at pick 13, they drafted Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle from Michigan. If you missed the live stream, I sure took a victory lap. I've been telling you guys for quite some time. He's DT1. Now, Mason Graham did go before him, but I've been telling you he's DT1. And for patrons and channel members, I've been telling them since November, December-ish that I knew for a fact the Miami Dolphins were very, very high on Kenneth Grant. And really that noise just got stronger, privately for me. And so, listen, I love this pick. All right. He was the DT1 on my big board, and I'll put that big board up there in the top corner just so you guys can see, exactly. I got all 22 in there, blah, 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 so I want you guys to be able to catch that. So anyways, if you did miss it, some of the things I love about his game, when you watch Kenneth Grant, man, I mean, you're talking about a guy with crazy upside, freakish athleticism. I'll get to the athleticism in a second right here, okay? But he's a top-tier run defender. I mean, you're talking about a guy who can eat up doubles. I mean, I talk about this play against Illinois. Go check the film in that defensive tackle big board. I talk about this play all the time. This man takes on a double team, with one hand, drives the one blocker into the tight end, who's literally coming across the backside. So now he's created a cluster of 3 blockers and drives them all into the running back to stop it for a loss behind the line of scrimmage. Like, I'm talking crazy power here, people. All right? Like, he can shed and stack blockers. He can win with that pure power, that athleticism, the length to his frame. Very good gap integrity. Can 1 gap, can 2 gap. You know, people want to question the motor. Go look at what he did in that Penn State game in 2023. You think a player of that caliber and with no motor is going to chase down that Penn State running back the way he did? Come on. Now, as a pass rusher, I've seen him push that pocket back on a bull rush, no problem. And I've seen him just put a guard on his butt with 1 arm and then finish the play off with a sack. Go look at the Washington clip. It's crazy. Like, we're talking crazy explosiveness, crazy length, and athleticism. You know, he'll win with a swim over move and instantly penetrate the backfield like that. You know, I do think he needs to expand his bag of pass rush tricks. But the upside from a pass rusher is very interior. You know I hate player comps, and I always say, we're talking about a more athletic, you know, an elite athletic version of Vita Vea potentially. Like, I want people to realize, and people want to pigeonhole him as a nose tackle or whatever. He can play from 0 to like 4-eye comfortably. You could probably, even with that athleticism, flex him out to a 5 if you want. But I think comfortably you can play him 0 to 4-eye. You know, I think he's got quick feet. His hands are lightning quick. Strike well, strike hard. A lot of pop in the strikes. You know, they're consistently well placed. You know, I love they send a shock through a defender, through a blocker when he lands him, man. I love it. So, you know, I love what this player is. Now, I think he needs to expand his pass rush repertoire. You know, there's people that question his motor. I don't think it's that. I think it's his conditioning. Last year was the first year he played over 500 snaps. So we got to see, hey, can you take on that workload? The pad level can get a little too high for him at times. That can lead to balance issues. It can lead to issues in the leverage battle. You know, so, and, you know, I do think you do see some fundamentals and technique stuff that needs to be cleaned up just with more reps and a little bit of coaching. But you're talking about like an alien, right? You know, I think we're talking about some of the highest upside in this class, and we'll get into that. And this is stuff that I've been saying for quite some time. I think this is a home run pick for the Miami Dolphins. I think you have upgraded what Christian Wilkins was next to Zach Sealer. Now, is Sealer going to be here on another contract? I don't know. You know, Wilkins is getting paid all he's getting paid. You know, Sealer's continuing to produce, didn't get hurt. You know, there might have to be life after him. You might have to double dip at some point, maybe the CJ West or someone later on. I don't know. But the point is, man, with Kenneth Grant, you got someone potentially special here. And it's going to be, that defensive front is disgusting. Like, we're talking like nastiness. Like, guys, if they would have brought back Calais Campbell, I would have sat here and said you have a better front than what the Rams had at last year. And we all know how disruptive that was with Verse, Fiske, and everyone they already had there, right? Being added to the bunch. I think, you know, a healthy Chop, a healthy Jalen Phillips, a healthy Bradley Chubb, Sealer, and Kenneth Grant, that is, oh my God. And imagine if they would have been able to add Dre Greenlaw and Joey Bosa. That's something I'm going to talk about down the line. Because I think this would have been the pick even if they brought back Calais Campbell. And Will Johnson's medicals clearly scared them. Will Johnson slid to the second. It's Xavier Howard all over again. We talked about that on the channel. But I want to show you something. Okay, I want to show you the level of freakishness we're dealing with in the player like this, okay? This is from the 2024 Freak List from The Athletic. Okay? It's very famous amongst like the draft community and everything like that. This is the excerpt about Kenneth Grant. Look at what I'm about to show you. Read this and tell me you're unimpressed. Okay? These are the numbers I keep telling you guys. So he was number 3 on the freak list. Travis Hunter was 2, just for an example. The Wolverines have produced more freak defensive linemen in the last half dozen years than anyone, from Rashawn Gary, Kwity Paye, Aiden Hutchinson, and Mozzie Smith to Chris Jenkins. The 6'3", 350-pound Grant is the biggest of them all. As a sophomore, he helped anchor the nation's #1 defense for the national champion Wolverines, making 29 tackles, 5 for loss, with 3.5 sacks, 6 quarterback hurries, 5 pass breakups, 1 interception, and 1 fumble recovery. Remember, this is coming into last year. When Grant arrived in Ann Arbor as a 3-star recruit from Indiana, Jim Harbaugh raved about the then 360-pounder running a sub-540 at 360. Anyone doubting Grant's speed? The reason why I heard he was getting down to like 340, 330 was he wanted to run like a 4.8, 4.7. I'm not even joking you. Anyone doubting Grant's speed, a max of 18.75 miles per hour on the GPS, only needed to see him run down Penn State running back Katrin Allen in the open field last year. His ability to fly up Michigan's reactive plyo stairs test, a series of 7 26-inch high stairs that players attempt to jump up as fast as possible, is truly freakish. This offseason, Grant pressed a 115-pound dumbbell 34 times on his right, 27 times on his left. He vertical jumped 29 inches and did a Turkish getup with a 150-pound dumbbell. Watching KG move is like a work of art, said Justin Truss, Michigan's director of strength and conditioning. He plays and trains violent and explosive. I'm telling you, man. Like, I'm telling you. We got a freak, ladies and gentlemen, because he's even lighter than that. He's even lighter than that. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we got a legitimate freak. All right? Like, I'm not even lying to you here. We got a legitimate freak of nature. And it pops up on film. I mean, you see the explosiveness on film regularly. Like, there's literally no doubt about that. You know, you're not gonna hear me argue that at all. You see it regularly on film. And just for you guys wondering what his RAS ended up being, this is what his RAS was: 6'3.5", 331, 22 bench, 31-inch vertical, which was higher, 8'9" broad jump, a 5'11" 40, a 297 20-yard split, and a 179 10-yard split. So, but I'm telling you, man, you watch the film, oh my God, it's something special. It's something special. Now, I wanted to show you these guys' clips. I saw this first John Gruden clip a couple days ago, and then I want to show you John Gruden's reaction during the draft, and I want to show you then what Nick Saban said, and then a well-known college analyst who takes the game pretty seriously, Joel Klatt. I want to show you what these guys said, because Joel Klatt perfectly describes them. But check out what Gruden says.
The more you study tape, the more you find players. And the guy that I like is Kenneth Grant, number 78 at Michigan. And I know Graham is a hell of a player, don't get me wrong. But watch Grant right here come out of the trash and walk this ball carrier down. Look at him run.
This is the play against Creighton Allen, the Penn State runner.
Give me 2 Kenneth Grants. I got to get this guy if I'm coaching. I got to get Kenneth Grant from Michigan, number 78.
That's from a couple days ago.
Kenneth Grant. There you go, Coach. First big call of the night for Coach John Gruden. Actually, I don't know that.
It might have been my favorite player in the whole draft.
You love this guy.
This guy comes out of the stack, man. You want to throw a bubble screen over there? Kenneth Grant will walk you down, man.
Listen to him.
He comes out of the trash. This guy plays his ass off. I love Kenneth Grant. He's a 3 technique, a guy that can play on the outside shoulder of the guard, and he can move. He's a great football player at Michigan. I love this pick.
Let me say this,
hey,
Coach.
You need to cheer up, Frank the Tanker. I'm never going to go trade baseball cards with you again.
Coach, I got to say this about Kenneth Grant. He is the John Gruden grittiest player of the draft, brought to you by Chevy. That is Kenneth Grant. That is who you have picked as the grittiest player of this draft. If Trucks got drafted, Chevy would be the first pick every single year.
Watch this.
It is completely bust-proof and full of grit, power, and dependability, plus 100 years of experience getting the job done. Chevy trucks have earned more dependability awards for trucks than...
Anyways, look at the ringing endorsement from John Gruden. Right? Look at that ringing endorsement from John Gruden. Massively huge. Now, look at what Nick Saban said about him. Okay? Nick Saban, I don't ever remember in all the time that I coached playing against two more dominating guys inside than when we played Michigan with number 55 and 78, Graham and Grant. I mean, these two guys are really, really good. You're talking about power. You're talking about athleticism. You're talking about guys who play hard and compete well. They are great effort guys to finish. This is a great effort play right here. Doesn't make the play, chases the runner down, catches him from behind. That's impressive for a big guy. You know? Like, I mean, you're seeing it right there. And then Joe Klatt. Look at what Joe Klatt. Everyone knows Joe Klatt from watching college football, if you do follow it. Joe Klatt said Michigan coaches said he could be the best of defensive linemen in the future. He's got this rare motor for a guy who's 330 pounds. He doesn't even understand how good he is yet. His best football is ahead of him. He could be one of the better defensive tackles in coming years. That's literally paraphrasing everything I've been trying to tell you guys about his upside and what is going on with it. I mean, we're talking about potential special levels with this kid. That's just where we're at. And I love this pick. I love this pick. I can't wait to do my grade show because you know it's going to be a good grade. All right? Now, Grier and McDaniel went in front of the camera for the press conference before the draft was over. That's how we knew they were done and probably not making a move up or back or a move at all today or tonight, sorry. And these are the notes and the takeaways from it, courtesy of the Miami Herald. All right, and Barry Jackson. Dolphins general manager Chris Grier and coach Mike McDaniel weighed in on the selection of Kenneth Grant with the 13th overall pick. Grier asked if Miami tried to trade down or wanted to stay at 13 for Grant. He said, we were excited to get him there. We were working the phones the whole process at 8 or 9. You're always working the phones. We were actively trying to do it. We had a couple of calls, listened to people. We weren't completely closed off if an opportunity came. After we picked him, I got 3 texts from teams below us saying that was their guy. We think Kenneth is a tremendous player. He can be a potential impact player for us, made of the right stuff. We are very happy to add him to the roster. Defensive tackle was a big need. We don't view him as just a run stopper. It's not always about sacks. The ability to push the pocket in the middle is a huge thing in the NFL. He has tremendous work ethic to do that. Grier on his conditioning. The college game is a lot faster, a lot of no-huddle offense. The weight with us, we got to know him in the offseason, what he played at. We're not concerned with it. We did a lot of background studies and information gathering and feel very comfortable with him. Talking to people at Michigan, they don't view it as an issue. Grier said Stephen Ross, a Michigan alum, was very, very happy with the Grant pick and was playing the Michigan fight song. He was very happy to add our first Michigan player in the first round since 2008 when Jake Long was selected first overall by Parcells. McDaniel and Grant, you can play various light boxes at times and have versatility. A guy that can draw some attention from other really good players. If you can add really good players to the line of scrimmage, we're excited about that. We jumped on that with elation. He's been on our mind for a long time. We thoroughly vetted. McDaniel said Zach Sealer told McDaniel that he heard Michigan guys are hard workers. Grier on pairing Grant with Sealer. I'm excited about it. He's a good player. Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham did a good job. They're a hard team to run on. The kid just turned 21 years old. When he came here and sat with Mike for a half hour, he was really excited. For a big guy, he has twitch and explosion. He has traits that will translate well to the NFL. Grier on filling other needs. There are a number of really good free agents we've been in touch with. We'll be looking at need, but not strictly in the final 6 rounds, looking at good football players. Grier on cornerbacks available at the draft after round 1. It's a deeper group of guys. Corners come through all rounds. Kansas City's picked good corners 5th through 7th. San Francisco has. It's a good draft, a lot of talented players. Does Grier prefer to wait after June 1st to trade Jalen Ramsey because the cap hit is lower? Grier said, not necessarily. We're open to everything wherever the right opportunity comes. And listen, that second round, he's talking about all these good players that are available. I mean, he's not lying. Will Johnson is still on the board, a la X. Yeah, medically disqualified from round 1, but he's good to go now, right? He's on the board. X was taken in the second. Amanawari's still on the board. Nick Amanawari is dropped. We don't need edge, but Donovan Izaraku from Boston College is amazing. Probably not going to take another DT, but Darius Alexander's on the board. Savon Revel, I apologize, is on the board. You know, when you talk about corner, there are some great corners. Savon Revel on the board. Will Johnson still available. Trey Amos, Benjamin Morrison, Azariah Thomas, Darian Porter, Quincy Riley still around. So there's some options there. Now for guard, Jonas Savannah is still around. Tate Ratledge, Marcus Bowe, Miles Frazier, Wyatt Millam, Dylan Fairchild, obviously still around. At tackle, Ariante Ursery still around. You know, it's a little thin there. Now at safety, Amanda Warrior still there. Kevin Winston Jr., Xavier Watts, Makuba, Sanker, Bowman. You know, there's still a lot of good options, man. And then at linebacker, a player I know they love is still around. And that's Carson Schwessinger. I know they love him. Demetrius Knight's still around. So there's still some options. I don't think they're going to go receiver, but my boy Jaden Higgins, he's still there. So is Luther Burden and Jalen Noel. So, man, a lot of good picks left. I'm going to tell you, at 48, I'll give you the 48 because you got to see how the board falls for 98. But heading in tomorrow, my agenda is Nicoman Wari, Tate Ratledge, Jonas Savannah, Will Johnson, or Savon Revel at 48. That is who my agenda is heading into day 2 of the 2025 NFL Draft. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. I will be live for it. Make sure you tune in. We had over 1,000 of you live for night 1. Let's make it great night 2, and hopefully do the Miami Dolphins trade up. I want to know. Put in the chats below. Do you think the Miami Dolphins acquire a pick in between 48 and 98? Or do they move up from 98? Do you think they're going to wait 50 picks between picks? Man, I hope they add another pick in there. I want a pick at 48, a pick somewhere in the 60s or low 70s, and that pick at 98. I hope we get 3 picks tomorrow. All right? So, fins up. Smash that like button on the way out. Subscribe if you are new. And man, what a great night 1. Can't wait to see y'all for night 2. Fins up.